Hello, folks. This is Bob Spale, and I am with the Deer Report, Digital Experts Intelligence Report, Crash Training, and this is the big interview. Now, we have a very special guest today, and he is the founder of a next generation digital currency technology called CloudCoin. And I want to thank you very much for attending. Sean Worthington, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, let's get right to it because the big interview is all about trying to give people information on one important topic. And the topic today is we've heard a lot about issues with with Bitcoin and some latency issues in terms of transaction. Can you explain to folks out here what's happening with the latency or how long it takes transactions to occur with Bitcoin blockchain?
Well, the blockchain is designed basically to handle 7 transactions per second, which is not very many when you consider how many people there are in the world. And so what happens is that if you want to transact, you've got to send your keys to the public ledger, and this is generally just one computer. And that computer then sends it to other computers, and those computers then again send it to other computers. And they all synchronize, and there's about 7,000 computers to synchronize. And once about half of them synchronize, then you get the idea that the transaction is good. But this can take several hours because of all of the processing, all the encrypting, all the decrypting that goes on. And so there's been times at which transactions have taken days to complete. And right now, I think the average is about 4 hours per transaction. So the more people that want to transact, the slower it gets, and it becomes quite, well, you can't buy a Pepsi with it at the corner store. And they also have to charge about $45 per transaction in order to reduce the number of transactions that happen.
Now that's an incredible thing. I wasn't aware of that. So they basically are increasing the cost of transactions to slow down the number of transactions because of this latency issue?
That's right. And so there's something called Open Bazaar, which is a marketing platform, and they decided to go with Bitcoin, and they've been very unhappy because it costs more to pay for the fees than the products are worth. And so it pretty much killed their market.
Yeah, that's incredible. The other thing that just the minute you said 7 transactions a second, I'm going to myself, well, that means less than 500 transactions a minute, what, 3,000 transactions an hour. And look, I mean, there are millions of people that I think have Bitcoin. Isn't that correct?
Well, there's millions of people, and they generally have to go through some other account, and it is just the people that use it become very unhappy. They want to get rich off of Bitcoin, but they can't even make the transaction, so they get discouraged.
Oh boy. Well, that's not good. There's another thing I'm hearing that's an issue, and this is not, by the way, folks, we're not here to slam Bitcoin. These are just technology issues that are coming up that people are going to have to address. What does it typically take a long time or a period of time to get a wallet? Because it's my understanding that you have to have a wallet in order to get the Bitcoin. Is there some type of, is that a lengthy process to get a wallet?
It's absolutely lengthy, because if you get the standard Bitcoin wallet, you've got to download the blockchain, and the blockchain is 150 gigabytes right now. So you've got to make sure you've got 150 gigabytes of room on your computer, and your computer is going to spend days and days downloading this from other computers on the internet. These other computers are peers, and they're not necessarily some central server that is going to give you this data quickly. And then even once you do get on the blockchain, then you've got to find somebody that's willing to sell Bitcoin to, and that might mean that you have to sign up for an exchange. And these exchanges want lots of information. They want you to prove who you are. They want you to send them their driver's license and bank account numbers. And this process can take weeks. So, a lot of people are very frustrated. They want to get into these digital currencies, and it takes a lot of time in order to get the blockchain and then go ahead and trade in it.
Well, that's interesting because we're talking about issues to get involved, and even with that said, Bitcoin is rolling up in value, and it seems like it may not necessarily be just because everybody wants Bitcoin. It's just everyone wants to get into digital currencies. Is that a reasonable statement?
Well, I think that people see people making money in that, and they definitely want to be part of that, and so they're doing what they can to get into it. But there's just a maximum amount that can handle the load, and
Okay.
I think that
Well, let me ask you this then, because this is, I mean, right now, there are tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people who are taking Bitcoin or taking digital currency as a way of paying for things, but there are tens of millions of retail outlets. So right now, it's a minuscule number of people taking payments. If blockchain or Bitcoin continue having a latency issue, I mean, to some degree, is that not going to almost suppress the retail use of the coin itself?
oh yeah, we've seen this happen just recently. There's a video game company called Steam, and they are a big company with millions of players. And they used to take Bitcoin, but they had to stop taking it because it's just too slow, it's too expensive, and their players can't afford it. And so they just stopped taking it.
Did that just recently happen, Sean?
Yes, I did misspeak. I said Steam it. It's actually Steam. But yeah, that happened within last month.
Wow, wow. So I mean, we've been hearing about altcoins and alt currencies, and even, of course, CloudCoin addresses this issue itself. I think there's some others. What's the solution? Is there a way to make the blockchain more efficient, or is it going to come down to more efficient technologies, you think?
I think it's absolutely got to come down to more efficient technologies, because trying to milk these blockchain technologies into going faster, well, there's only so far you can go. And so we're already seeing some technologies that are designed to make everything go faster. Those technologies are becoming more popular. And of course, there's going to be a maximum speed. And I don't think the blockchain is going to come near that maximum speed.
Okay, that's that. And one other thing, I just, this is almost anecdotal, maybe not even anecdotal. I've heard that in terms of blockchain, I've heard the biggest miners, those are folks that generate Bitcoins, are found in Iceland of all places, because apparently of course it's cold there, but the energy costs are very, very, very small. Is that what you're hearing?
Yes. And so in order to make money and run this blockchain networks, they've got to burn a lot of electricity, and that's going to generate a lot of heat on the servers. And the best place to do that is somewhere where it's cold, where the air is dry, and they can just bring in the ambient air to cool the servers off, and where the electricity is cheap. And of course, in Iceland, they have geothermal electricity. It's very inexpensive in comparison to any other electricity. So they've got an economic advantage there. So it's no surprise that we're seeing huge warehouses form of servers there doing mining.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Sean, you've really shed some light on, kind of some of the technical issues that are happening with blockchain and Bitcoin. And Sean, if you hear of any solutions in the future, or would you like to come back on and share that with us?
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate your time, Sean. That's Sean Worthington. He's the founder of CloudCoin, and somebody who obviously is trying to develop solutions and has developed solutions to this latency issue. I want to thank everybody for listening in on the big interview. I appreciate your time, and wait till our next one. Thank you much.